Hello friends. Have you ever wondered what happens when the fire of Aries Snake meets the airy charm of a Libra Rooster? At first glance, these two personalities might seem like they come from entirely different worlds. One is fiery, intuitive, strategic, and mysterious, while the other shines brightly with charm, social magnetism, and a love for harmony. Yet, when we look closer, we find a fascinating dance of opposites, a story where passion, balance, and challenge all intertwine. Love. Love between an Aries snake and a Libra rooster is never simple, never bland, and never predictable. It is the kind of love that feels like a novel in motion, filled with climactic chapters, sudden twists, and moments of breathtaking tenderness. When these two meet, there is an instant recognition of something unusual. The snake, cloaked in fire and mystery, recognizes in the rooster not only beauty but also a radiant confidence that dazzles even the most guarded soul. And the rooster, who thrives on admiration and validation, feels something different when standing before the snake, a magnetism that is not simply about surface charm, but about a profound and penetrating allure that seems to pull them into uncharted emotional waters. For the Aries snake, love is not casual. They do not approach it with lightness or frivolity. To them, love is war, love is art, love is destiny. They want depth, loyalty, and passion, not half-hearted promises or superficial flings. Every glance, every gesture, every whispered word carries significance. They are selective in opening their hearts, and once they do, they expect a devotion that mirrors their own. The Libra rooster, meanwhile, approaches love from a different angle. To them, love is a stage where beauty, elegance, and affection play starring roles. They want admiration, they crave to be seen, and they long for a partner who can appreciate not only their outward confidence but also the more fragile layers beneath. When these two come together, the chemistry is undeniable. Sparks ignite quickly, almost alarmingly so. The snake, with its air of mystery and its intensity, entrances the rooster, who cannot resist the thrill of being pursued by someone so enigmatic yet commanding. The rooster, with their dazzling smile, witty charm, and effortless ability to draw attention, excites the snake, who is often wary of superficiality but senses in the rooster a rare brightness that can soften their darker moods. Their first encounters are electric. Glances last longer than usual, conversations flow with both tension and ease, and beneath every word there is an undercurrent of desire. But as with any firework, the brilliance comes with heat, and heat can burn. The snake soon begins to notice the rooster's unrelenting need for validation. The rooster wants praise not only from their partner but from the world at large. They thrive in social settings, basking in applause, compliments, and recognition. For the snake, who values privacy, exclusivity, and depth, this constant search for external attention can feel threatening, even destabilizing. They may wonder, if the rooster thrives so much on the admiration of others, will they ever be truly satisfied with me alone? That insecurity can transform into possessiveness, and the snake's tendency to coil tightly around what they value most becomes apparent. On the other side, the rooster feels the snake's intensity in ways both intoxicating and suffocating. At first, being desired with such passion feels like a dream. After all, what Libra rooster doesn't want to be adored? But over time, the snake's possessive gaze may begin to feel heavy. The rooster, who values freedom, sociability, and admiration, may start to feel trapped, as though the snake's love is a gilded cage. They may ask themselves, am I free to shine, or must I dim my light to keep the snake comfortable? This tension can create a push and pull dynamic, where the rooster seeks space while the snake seeks closeness, each feeling misunderstood by the other. And yet, despite these challenges, the attraction remains powerful. Love for this pair is not only about passion but also about growth. The snake can teach the rooster the value of depth, reminding them that real love is not measured by applause from the crowd but by the quiet loyalty of a partner who truly sees them. The rooster, in turn, can teach the snake to lighten up, to embrace the joy of spontaneity, and to appreciate beauty for beauty's sake. Together, they can create a love that is both grounding and uplifting, a rare combination of intensity and elegance. Arguments in this pairing are inevitable. The snake, strategic and sometimes manipulative, can sting with words or silence when they feel ignored or betrayed. The rooster, outspoken and proud, may counter with dramatic displays, criticisms, or even flirtations meant to provoke jealousy. These conflicts can feel explosive, but they also serve as opportunities for transformation. For in every quarrel, there lies a lesson. The snake must learn to trust, and the rooster must learn to reassure. When the love between them is nurtured with care, the relationship blooms into something extraordinary. It becomes a partnership where passion never fades, where attraction continues to evolve, and where both partners grow in ways they could not have managed alone. The snake feels more alive, more willing to step into the light, because of the rooster's influence. The rooster, meanwhile, feels more grounded, more deeply cherished, because of the snake's unwavering devotion. This love is not for the faint of heart. It demands effort, patience, and compromise. It asks the snake to loosen their grip and trust that the rooster's sparkle does not threaten the bond they share. It asks the rooster to recognize that external admiration can never replace the profound intimacy of a devoted partner. If they can navigate these lessons, their love story becomes legendary, a tale of fire and air, of depth and beauty, of intensity and radiance colliding into a union that is as unforgettable as it is transformative. Love between an Aries snake and a Libra rooster is not about ease. It is about challenge. It is about growth. It is about the extraordinary alchemy that occurs when two seemingly different beings collide, clash, and ultimately discover that their differences are not barriers but bridges. Love here is not just a battlefield, but a stage for transcendence. And now, a little side note. If you'd like to support the channel, there's a thanks button right under this video, or through the donation alerts link in the description. Your support truly helps me keep creating. And of course, if you enjoy the content, please leave a like and subscribe so you won't miss what's coming next. Thank you so much for being here. Now, let's continue. Marriage. Marriage between an Aries snake and a Libra rooster is a union filled with contrasts, and it is precisely within those contrasts that both its greatest challenges and its richest rewards are found. When these two decide to take their relationship beyond passion and into the permanence of marriage, they step into a lifelong balancing act, one that requires patience, respect, and an unwavering commitment to understanding each other's fundamentally different natures. The snake, true to its Aries fire, enters marriage with purpose. This is not a sign that drifts casually into lifelong commitments. The snake thinks strategically, moving with deliberate caution, always several steps ahead. To them, marriage is not only about romance but also about security, about creating a structure that will stand the test of time. They are planners, protectors, and visionaries, always focused on the long game. Their approach to marriage is deeply serious, almost sacred, and they expect their partner to treat it with the same gravity. The Libra rooster approaches marriage with an entirely different energy. The rooster is bright, outwardly expressive, and thrives on routine, admiration, and a sense of being publicly cherished. To the rooster, marriage is not only about what happens behind closed doors but also about what the world sees. They want to feel adored in public, celebrated within their social circle, and respected as part of a dazzling, harmonious couple. The rooster thrives when their partner is proud of them, willing to stand by their side in all the visible arenas of life, and when their efforts to shine are acknowledged with consistent praise. Here lies the first potential conflict. The snake values privacy, intimacy, and discretion. They do not feel the need to parade their marriage before the world. In fact, they may even find public displays of affection or constant socializing exhausting. For the snake, marriage is best nurtured in quiet moments, long conversations late into the night, shared secrets, and a sense of closeness that no one else can penetrate. For the rooster, however, marriage is something to be celebrated openly, an accomplishment to be displayed proudly. They want to be seen, admired, and validated, both by their partner and by their community. This difference in approach can create tension. The snake, feeling overwhelmed by the rooster's demand for attention and recognition, may withdraw into solitude, preferring silence over confrontation. The rooster, on the other hand, may interpret the snake's withdrawal as a lack of affection or even disapproval. They may become louder, more demanding, insisting on reassurance in ways that push the snake even further away. Without conscious effort, this dynamic can spiral into misunderstanding, where both partners feel unseen and unappreciated. And yet, when these two learn to balance their needs, their marriage can be breathtakingly beautiful. The snake offers the rooster something few others can: stability and depth. Beneath the rooster's showmanship and social confidence lies a deeper longing for someone who truly understands them, someone who sees beyond the feathers and the pride. The snake's ability to perceive hidden truths, to look into the soul of their partner, provides the rooster with a sense of being profoundly known. This is no small gift, and it is one that can anchor the rooster in moments when their self-image wavers. In turn, the rooster gives the snake something equally vital: light. The snake can become lost in their own intensity, weighed down by their tendency to overanalyze and brood. The rooster's brightness, optimism, and willingness to engage with the outside world can lift the snake out of darkness. They remind the snake that life is not only about strategy and control but also about joy, laughter, and the simple pleasure of being admired together as a couple. In this way, the rooster becomes the snake's gateway to a lighter, more radiant existence. Marriage for this pair requires compromise at every step. The snake must learn that the rooster's need for admiration is not necessarily a threat to intimacy. Wanting to be seen and celebrated is part of the rooster's nature, and it does not diminish the love they hold for their partner. On the other hand, the rooster must learn to respect the snake's need for privacy and quiet. They must understand that not all love needs an audience, and that some of the strongest expressions of devotion are those whispered in private, unseen by others. When the snake feels trusted, when they know their partner believes in their vision and respects their quiet strength, they flourish in marriage. They become the steady rock that provides security, always calculating the best paths forward for the family's well-being. When the rooster feels admired, when their efforts are recognized and their beauty and talents celebrated, they too flourish. They become the radiant light that keeps the marriage vibrant, joyful, and socially fulfilling. Over time, if both partners commit to this dance of give and take, their marriage can evolve into something deeply harmonious. The snake and the rooster, though so different in their instincts, find balance in their union. The snake grounds the rooster, while the rooster lifts the snake. The snake teaches the rooster to value depth over appearances, to find strength in stillness. The rooster teaches the snake that there is beauty in brightness, and that sometimes it is okay to let the world see and celebrate what they share. Of course, the road is not without pitfalls. The snake's possessiveness, if unchecked, can suffocate the rooster, making them feel trapped. The rooster's vanity, if left untempered, can wound the snake, making them feel unappreciated. But within the very friction of these struggles lies the potential for growth. The marriage becomes not only a union of two people but also a mirror, each partner reflecting back the lessons the other most needs to learn. Ultimately, marriage between an Aries snake and a Libra rooster is a test of patience, a journey of compromise, and a constant reminder that love is not about erasing differences but about weaving them into a shared life. When both partners respect the balance, when admiration and trust flow equally, when light and depth coexist, their marriage does not simply survive. It thrives. It becomes a living example of how two seemingly opposing forces can come together to create a union greater than the sum of its parts, a marriage that is as strong as it is luminous, as enduring as it is beautiful. Sex. When it comes to sex between an Aries snake and a Libra rooster, words like ordinary or predictable could never apply. This is a connection that ignites with the spark of opposites, one drenched in mystery, magnetism, and unspoken electricity. The snake, born under Aries fire, brings into the bedroom a mixture of intensity and control that borders on hypnotic. Every movement is intentional, every touch designed to penetrate beyond the physical and into the psychological. To the snake, intimacy is not just about bodies meeting, it is about souls colliding. Their presence is enveloping, their passion overwhelming, their allure undeniable. The Libra rooster enters this space with an entirely different kind of power. the power of radiance, charm, and vitality. The rooster thrives on admiration, on being desired, on knowing that their partner is captivated by every curve, every gesture, every breath. Where the snake brings mystery, the rooster brings vibrancy. Where the snake moves like a hunter, deliberate and patient, the rooster moves like a performer, dazzling, energetic, and eager to keep things exciting. Together, they create a fusion of styles that is as intoxicating as it is unforgettable. What makes this pairing so magnetic in bed is not just the raw chemistry, though that is undeniable. It is the interplay of power and admiration. The snake often seeks to dominate, to set the rhythm, to wrap their partner in an aura of control that can feel both dangerous and irresistible. The rooster, far from resisting this dominance, often welcomes it, provided they are recognized and praised in return. They revel in being admired, adored, and reminded of their beauty, their skill, their ability to captivate. This exchange, control for adoration, creates a powerful loop that can sustain their intimacy for years. The snake, with their enigmatic energy, turns sex into an art form. They linger, they build tension, they savor every reaction. They are not afraid of silence in intimacy. In fact, they use it to amplify the weight of every glance, every pause. The rooster, by contrast, thrives on variety and flair. They enjoy experimenting, trying new things, and ensuring that intimacy never feels stale. They bring fire to the snake's depth, adding color and playfulness to what could otherwise become too heavy or consuming. This combination ensures that their physical life is both emotionally charged and endlessly dynamic. However, such passion also carries risks. The snake's desire to dominate can slip into control that feels restrictive if not balanced. They may expect the rooster to surrender completely, to play only by the snake's rules. The rooster, though capable of enjoying surrender, is also proud and independent. They need to feel admired and celebrated, not reduced to submission without recognition. If the snake forgets to praise, if they fail to feed the rooster's need for validation, cracks begin to show. What was once intoxicating can quickly feel suffocating. On the other side, the rooster's hunger for admiration can, at times, stretch beyond the bedroom. They may seek validation in other spaces, compliments from others, flirtations that feel harmless but that stir the snake's jealous heart. For the possessive snake, even subtle hints of disloyalty or distraction can feel like betrayal. This is where tension simmers, threatening to unravel their magnetic bond. The snake demands exclusivity, intensity, and devotion. The rooster, though loyal at heart, demands admiration not just privately but often publicly as well. And yet, when both partners consciously tune into each other's needs, their intimacy becomes legendary. The snake must remember that dominance without acknowledgement becomes tyranny, and the rooster must remember that admiration without loyalty becomes shallow. When they strike the right balance, sex between them becomes more than pleasure. It becomes renewal, a ritual that deepens their connection and heals their differences. Their physical relationship is also marked by cycles, much like the rhythms of fire and air. There are periods of overwhelming passion, where they cannot keep their hands off each other, where every touch feels like oxygen meeting flame. Then there are quieter stretches, where the snake retreats into thought and the rooster into their social world. Far from being a weakness, these cycles give their intimacy texture and longevity. The passion never burns out completely, it simply transforms, waiting to be reignited with even greater force. The emotional undercurrents in their sexual life cannot be overlooked. For the snake, sex is tied to loyalty, to trust, to a sense of ultimate union. It is proof that their partner is theirs alone, that the bond they have built cannot be broken. For the rooster, sex is tied to affirmation, proof that they are still attractive, still captivating, still adored. When these emotional needs are met simultaneously, the act itself transcends physicality and becomes a profound exchange of devotion. This pairing also carries an element of danger that makes their encounters even more thrilling. The snake's intensity has a way of pulling the rooster into emotional depths they may never have experienced before, while the rooster's flamboyance exposes the snake to joys and risks they might otherwise avoid. This tension between safety and risk, control and surrender, seriousness and playfulness, is what makes their sexual bond so unforgettable. It is never neutral, it is always charged. Even in the later stages of their relationship, when novelty might fade for other couples, the Aries Snake and Libra Rooster retain their spark. The snake's natural sensuality only deepens with time, and the rooster's creativity ensures that intimacy never becomes routine. They are capable of keeping each other intrigued for decades, provided they respect the delicate balance between dominance and admiration, possession and freedom. Ultimately, sex for this pairing is not just about pleasure. It is about power, identity, and affirmation. It is about the snake proving that their devotion is absolute and the rooster proving that their allure remains undeniable. It is about the eternal push and pull of fire and air, predator and performer, mystery and radiance. This is why, despite occasional conflicts, their sexual chemistry is often the glue that holds their relationship together when other areas falter. It is the strongest element of their bond, the flame that refuses to go out, and the space where both feel most alive. Friendship. Friendship between an Aries snake and a Libra rooster is like watching two contrasting colors merge on a canvas, bold, unexpected, yet capable of creating a masterpiece when blended with care. The snake, with its innate wisdom, strategic mind, and measured demeanor, approaches friendship as something deliberate and meaningful. To them, friends are not countless faces in a crowd but carefully chosen allies, confidants who have proven themselves trustworthy. The snake does not waste energy on shallow connections or casual bonds. Their loyalty is rare, and once given, it is profound. The Libra rooster, however, operates differently in the social sphere. They are vivacious, charismatic, and endlessly magnetic, capable of making friends wherever they go. Their laughter, humor, and energy draw people in like moths to a flame. For the rooster, friendship is about vibrancy, fun, and exchange, a constant flow of conversation, activity, and recognition. They love to be admired by their peers, and they thrive in lively groups where their wit and charm can shine. When the snake and the rooster form a friendship, the first impression is often one of fascination. The rooster finds the snake's quiet intensity intriguing. In a world full of people who flatter and entertain, the snake feels different, mysterious, deep, someone who does not give away their thoughts easily. This challenge excites the rooster, who enjoys drawing people out of their shells. The snake, meanwhile, is captivated by the rooster's energy. Beneath their skepticism, they recognize that the rooster carries a lightness the snake often lacks, a brightness that can balance their own heaviness. Together, they balance one another in curious ways. The snake is the planner, the strategist, the one who evaluates situations before leaping. The rooster is the actor, the one who thrives on spontaneity and expression. The snake reflects before speaking, while the rooster speaks with confidence even before fully forming a plan. This yin-yang energy creates a friendship where both can learn. The snake may become more outgoing under the rooster's influence, while the rooster may grow wiser and more thoughtful under the snake's guidance. Yet, friendship between them is not without its difficulties. The snake can be dismissive of what they view as superficiality, and the rooster often indulges in exactly that, playful chatter, light gossip, or basking in attention from a crowd. The snake, who craves depth, may grow impatient with what they see as frivolity. They may retreat into silence, observing with critical eyes, and the rooster may sense this judgment. To the rooster, the snake can seem too serious, too secretive, unwilling to join in the joy of the moment. At the same time, the rooster's hunger for external validation can clash with the snake's need for exclusivity in friendship. The snake wants a bond that is special, private, and loyal. They may struggle to understand why the rooster needs a large social circle and constant admiration from others. Jealousy, though quieter in friendship than in love, can still creep into the snake's heart if they feel overlooked or undervalued. The rooster, on the other hand, may feel constrained by the snake's intensity, wishing for a lighter, freer connection. Despite these contrasts, when the two find common ground, their friendship becomes surprisingly resilient. Working together on a shared project is one of the strongest avenues for this pair. The snake brings focus, discipline, and long-term vision, while the rooster adds flair, energy, and presentation skills. Whether it's organizing an event, supporting one another through personal struggles, or collaborating on creative endeavors, they complement each other beautifully when united by a purpose. Another strength of this friendship lies in loyalty. The snake may be slow to trust, but once they have chosen the rooster as a friend, they will stand by them with unwavering devotion. They will protect, advise, and guide, often acting as the rooster's anchor in turbulent times. The rooster, though more social and outwardly distracted, also values loyalty once it has been tested. Beneath their love for applause and attention, they cherish the rare individuals who truly understand and support them. For the snake, being one of those rare few is deeply meaningful. Their differences, in fact, can strengthen the bond rather than weaken it. The snake provides the depth that prevents the rooster's life from feeling too shallow, reminding them that not every conversation or connection needs an audience. The rooster provides the energy that prevents the snake's world from becoming too insular, coaxing them into laughter, fun, and spontaneity. Together, they expand one another's horizons, offering what the other might lack. Of course, for this friendship to endure, both must learn to respect their differences. The snake must resist the temptation to judge the rooster too harshly for seeking attention, remembering that this is simply part of their nature, not a betrayal of loyalty. The rooster must recognize the snake's need for sincerity and show that, beneath all the sparkle, they are capable of genuine depth. When each acknowledges the other's values, conflict transforms into growth. In the long run, the friendship between an Aries snake and a Libra rooster can be one of the most intriguing and rewarding bonds either will experience. It may not always be easy. The snake's intensity and the rooster's flamboyance are bound to clash, but the very tension between them creates space for evolution. The snake learns to laugh more, to step into the light without fear. The rooster learns to slow down, to look deeper, to appreciate the power of silence. This friendship, when nurtured, becomes enduring. It may take years to fully mature, but when it does, it stands strong against external challenges. The snake offers wisdom, the rooster offers joy, and together they weave a bond that is as dynamic as it is lasting. It is not the smoothest friendship, nor the simplest, but it is one that leaves both parties changed, wiser, fuller, and more complete because of the other's presence. Business. In business, the partnership between an Aries snake and a Libra rooster is one of those rare combinations that looks, at first glance, almost too good to be true. The snake, cautious yet visionary, thrives in the shadows of planning, scheming, and anticipating every potential pitfall. They are masters of strategy, capable of seeing opportunities where others only see chaos, and calculating risks with the precision of a chess grandmaster. To the snake, business is not about quick wins or fleeting glory. It is about building something that lasts, something that carries weight, something they can control from the roots upward. The Libra rooster, in contrast, bursts into the business world with dazzling charisma, flair, and an innate ability to persuade. They are performers at heart, and in the professional arena, this manifests as eloquence, presence, and charm. The rooster knows how to capture attention in a crowded room, how to pitch an idea so it glitters with promise, how to network in ways that open doors the snake might never attempt to knock on. While the snake quietly crafts the blueprint, the rooster steps onto the stage and sells the vision with feathers spread wide and confidence radiating in every word. Together, this pairing can form a powerhouse duo. The snake provides the intellectual backbone, ensuring that every decision is grounded in logic, foresight, and long-term planning. The rooster provides the sparkle, bringing those plans to life through their ability to communicate, motivate, and inspire. The snake ensures the business has substance. The rooster ensures the business has visibility. It is a division of labor that, on paper, appears flawless. But business partnerships are rarely lived on paper alone. In practice, the very differences that make the snake and rooster such a dynamic team can also plant the seeds of conflict. Ego is the most dangerous currency between them. The rooster thrives on recognition, applause, titles, accolades, and visible proof of their influence. They want their efforts acknowledged not just privately but publicly, in ways that affirm their importance. The snake, on the other hand, is far less concerned with the spotlight and far more concerned with maintaining control. For them, true power is often invisible. They prefer to operate quietly, ensuring that while the rooster shines, they themselves remain the one pulling the strings. This difference in motivation can create tension. If the snake feels their efforts, the countless hours of strategy, analysis, and behind-the-scenes work, are being overshadowed by the rooster's dazzling performances, resentment festers. They may begin to see the rooster not as a partner but as a show-off who takes credit for what was carefully orchestrated in silence. On the other side, if the rooster feels their brilliance is being stifled, if they are not celebrated for the energy and charm they pour into the venture, restlessness sets in. They may grow dissatisfied, restless, or even reckless, seeking validation elsewhere. The key to success in their business partnership lies in clearly defined roles and mutual respect. The snake must accept that the rooster's flair is not superficial but necessary. Without a voice, a face, and a personality to sell the vision, even the best-laid strategies can gather dust. The rooster must accept that without the snake's depth, patience, and foresight, their dazzling ideas could collapse under pressure or lack sustainable grounding. Each must honor the other's contribution, even when their instincts pull them in different directions. When this respect is achieved, the partnership becomes formidable. The snake can guide the venture through stormy waters, ensuring that every risk is calculated and every move deliberate. The rooster can attract investors, charm clients, and rally employees, turning abstract plans into movements people want to follow. One lays the foundation, the other builds the tower that the world admires. Still, challenges remain, particularly in decision-making. The snake prefers slow, deliberate choices, weighing every possible outcome before committing. The rooster, in their eagerness to impress or seize momentum, may push for quick action, confident that their charisma can carry them through any potential pitfalls. This clash in pace requires compromise. If the snake stalls too long, opportunities may slip away. If the rooster rushes too fast, disaster may strike. Learning when to trust each other's instincts, the snake's caution or the rooster's daring, becomes essential for survival. Another potential issue lies in communication. The snake is guarded, preferring to reveal only as much as necessary. They are not always transparent with their thoughts, often believing that keeping certain cards close to the chest gives them an advantage. The rooster, by contrast, thrives on openness, discussion, and affirmation. They want meetings, brainstorming sessions, and lively exchanges. If the snake withdraws too much, the rooster may feel excluded or dismissed. If the rooster talks too freely, the snake may view them as careless or indiscreet. Bridging this communication gap is another crucial step toward harmony. Yet, when balanced, their differences can become their greatest strengths. Imagine the snake crafting a meticulous financial strategy, spotting risks that no one else has noticed. The rooster, with impeccable timing, delivers the plan to stakeholders in a way that makes it sound not just practical but visionary. Or picture the rooster networking at a gala, charming a room full of potential partners, while the snake quietly observes, identifying who is genuinely useful and who is not worth the effort. In scenarios like these, their combined talents are unstoppable. Ultimately, business between an Aries snake and a Libra rooster is not just about profit. It is a test of egos, a dance between substance and style, between strategy and performance. When they forget to respect each other's roles, the partnership falters, weighed down by resentment or arrogance. But when they remember that their success depends on both the shadow and the spotlight, both the planner and the performer, they create something rare. A partnership that is not only effective but also enduring. The snake ensures the business has roots, the rooster ensures it has wings. And in that balance, the underground strategist and the flamboyant presenter, lies the true potential of their success. Dark sides. Every relationship has its shadows, and when it comes to the pairing of an Aries snake and a Libra rooster, those shadows are both fascinating and treacherous. For all their chemistry, balance, and potential, they each carry within them traits that can undermine everything they build together if left unchecked. These darker qualities don't always surface immediately. In fact, they often reveal themselves slowly, once the initial intoxication of passion, charm, and admiration has begun to settle into routine. But when they do emerge, they can be as destructive as they are instructive, showing both partners the parts of themselves they would rather ignore. The snake's darker side lies in its intensity, which, when twisted, manifests as possessiveness, jealousy, and subtle manipulation. Beneath the fiery Aries passion is a calculating, strategic nature that does not easily forgive or forget. When the snake feels betrayed, ignored, or undervalued, they rarely explode in obvious anger. Instead, they retreat into silence, biding their time, plotting how to reassert control or how to make their partner realize the cost of crossing them. This silent vengeance can be chilling because it is invisible until it strikes. The snake can hold grudges far longer than the rooster ever anticipates, turning small slights into lingering resentments that poison the bond over time. The rooster's darker side is equally dangerous but operates differently. Their flaws are tied to vanity, arrogance, and a hunger for validation that can become insatiable. The Libra rooster thrives on admiration, and when they don't receive it, they may seek it elsewhere, not always through betrayal, but through constant flirting, boasting, or surrounding themselves with admirers who reinforce their self-image. This can come across as shallow, even reckless, especially to the snake, who values depth and exclusivity. At their worst, the rooster may become obsessed with appearances, more concerned with how their life looks than how it truly feels. They may sacrifice authenticity for applause, and in doing so, erode the trust that the snake so desperately needs. When these two shadows collide, sparks fly, not the kind of sparks that ignite passion, but the kind that can burn bridges. The snake, sensing the rooster's vanity or flirtatiousness, may accuse them of superficiality or even infidelity, whether or not it is true. They cannot tolerate the idea that their partner's attention is scattered, that their devotion is diluted by the applause of others. Meanwhile, the rooster, suffocating under the snake's possessive gaze, may lash out, labeling the snake as controlling, overbearing, or paranoid. What began as admiration and attraction can transform into a battlefield of accusations, silent wars, and wounded pride. Left unchecked, these patterns are corrosive. The snake's manipulative streak can push the rooster away, and the rooster's vanity can confirm the snake's worst fears. The more the snake tightens their grip, the more the rooster feels the need to escape. The more the rooster seeks external validation, the more the snake grows suspicious and resentful. It becomes a vicious cycle, one that, if not broken, can destroy the relationship from within. And yet, these very dark sides, when acknowledged and understood, can also become opportunities for growth. The snake, by confronting their possessiveness, learns the value of trust, not the fragile kind that demands constant proof, but the deeper kind that allows freedom without fear. They discover that love does not need to be controlled to be secure, and that vulnerability is not weakness but strength. The rooster, by recognizing their vanity, learns the importance of grounding themselves in authenticity. They begin to see that admiration is fleeting unless it is rooted in genuine character, and that being truly loved is far more satisfying than being endlessly applauded. Together, if they are willing, they can turn their shadows into mirrors. The snake shows the rooster where they lean too heavily on surface validation, urging them to look deeper. The rooster shows the snake where they hold on too tightly, reminding them that love cannot breathe in a cage. In this way, their darker sides can either become weapons that destroy or lessons that transform. The danger lies in denial. If the snake refuses to admit their manipulative tendencies, insisting instead that they are simply protective, the cycle of control only grows tighter. If the rooster denies their vanity, insisting they are simply sociable or popular, they risk chasing admiration at the expense of intimacy. Growth requires brutal honesty, and neither sign is naturally inclined toward it without effort. The snake prefers secrecy. The rooster prefers to maintain their image. Only when both choose self-awareness over pride does real change occur. In some cases, their darker sides may actually be what keeps them magnetically bound, even in turmoil. The snake, for all their jealousy, cannot resist the rooster's light. The rooster, for all their arrogance, cannot ignore the snake's intensity. They may fight, accuse, and resent, but the pull between them remains strong. For some pairs, this creates a volatile but enduring bond, one filled with conflict but also with undeniable passion. For others, it becomes too much, a weight that neither can carry without breaking. Ultimately, the dark sides of the Aries Snake and Libra Rooster are not flaws to be eradicated but challenges to be understood. They reveal the deepest insecurities of each partner. The snake fears betrayal, and the rooster fears invisibility. If they can learn to soothe these fears rather than provoke them, their shadows become less threatening and more enlightening. If they cannot, their relationship risks becoming a battlefield where both emerge scarred. This pairing, then, is a constant reminder that light and shadow are inseparable. The same intensity that fuels their love can fuel their jealousy. The same charm that draws them together can spark arrogance. The question is not whether these shadows exist, they always will, but whether the snake and the rooster will use them to grow closer or to tear each other apart. Life goals. When it comes to life goals, the Aries Snake and the Libra Rooster reveal a fascinating contrast in vision, ambition, and motivation. Both are undeniably driven, but the essence of their drive flows in very different directions, shaped by the qualities of their signs and the deeper layers of their personalities. Understanding these differences, and learning how to weave them together, becomes one of the most critical factors in whether they thrive as individuals who support one another or clash as two forces pulling constantly in opposite directions. The Aries Snake moves through life with quiet intensity, always calculating, always observing, always building towards something greater than the moment. Their goals are not impulsive whims but carefully designed ambitions that hold meaning beyond surface appearances. They are seekers of wisdom and depth, drawn to experiences and achievements that will stand the test of time. For the snake, success is not about being seen, it is about being remembered. They want to leave behind a legacy that endures long after applause fades, whether that comes in the form of a brilliant career, a strong family, or a personal triumph that proves their mastery of the challenges they faced. To them, life is not about decoration but about foundation. They crave solidity, significance, and the kind of fulfillment that comes from depth, not dazzle. The Libra Rooster, however, carries an entirely different energy when it comes to life goals. Their ambitions are outward, visible, and infused with style. They seek recognition, respect, and beauty in their surroundings. For them, accomplishments must not only exist but also be admired. They want a life that shines, a life where their efforts are noticed and celebrated by others. Social success, elegance, and a sense of public validation form the backbone of their goals. A rooster does not simply want to build, they want to display. They want their journey through life to be as striking as their destination, adorned with respect, charm, and the admiration of peers. At first glance, these two sets of goals might seem irreconcilable. The snake moves in shadows, crafting legacies quietly and with patience. The rooster moves in light, broadcasting their victories proudly for the world to see. The snake treasures depth, the rooster thrives on recognition. And yet, when their paths align, something extraordinary happens. Together, they can create a life that balances substance with style, depth with beauty, legacy with admiration. The snake ensures stability. They ground the partnership in wisdom, keeping both their own ambitions and the rooster's dreams anchored in reality. They prevent rash decisions, urging caution when the rooster's flair tempts them to leap without looking. They remind the rooster that true success is measured not by fleeting applause but by what remains after the applause fades. The rooster, in turn, adds glamour and visibility. They make the snake's visions shine, giving voice and presence to what might otherwise remain hidden. They ensure that the world sees and celebrates what the snake has worked so hard to achieve. Yet, the danger lies in misunderstanding. If the snake dismisses the rooster's desire for recognition as shallow or vain, the rooster feels belittled, as though their very nature is being rejected. For them, admiration is not simply ego. it is affirmation, fuel that keeps them moving forward. Likewise, if the rooster mocks or minimizes the snake's quieter ambitions, seeing them as too secretive or too modest, the snake feels unseen and disrespected. For them, legacy is not about silence, it is about meaning, and to have that dismissed is deeply wounding. Conflict arises when each partner assumes their own goals are superior. The snake may scoff at the rooster's love of accolades, viewing them as superficial distractions. The rooster may grow frustrated with the snake's patience and long-term thinking, accusing them of being too cautious or too secretive. In these moments, the bond between them risks fraying, as what could be complementary becomes divisive. But when they learn to respect and even celebrate each other's differences, the potential for synergy is remarkable. Imagine a life where the snake quietly builds wealth, influence, or wisdom behind the scenes, while the rooster ensures that those accomplishments are presented in the brightest possible light. Together, they create not only success but also visibility. The snake provides the roots that ensure their achievements endure, while the rooster provides the wings that make those achievements soar in the public eye. Their combined goals can even inspire others. People may look at the snake and rooster together and see not just two individuals succeeding in their own ways, but a couple or partnership that demonstrates how very different motivations can unite to form a powerful whole. The snake proves that substance matters, that depth is essential. The rooster proves that beauty matters, that recognition is not frivolous but a natural part of human ambition. In the end, both are right, and both are necessary. In practical terms, their life together will require constant negotiation. The snake must step out of their comfort zone at times, allowing their partner to pull them into the spotlight so their achievements do not remain buried. The rooster must step back at times, allowing their partner the privacy and control they need to feel secure and fulfilled. Each will be stretched by the other, but in that stretching lies growth. Ultimately, the life goals of the Aries Snake and Libra Rooster reflect the eternal tension between the inner world and the outer world. The snake seeks meaning in silence, in depth, in permanence. The rooster seeks meaning in visibility, in recognition, in the celebration of beauty. Alone, each might feel incomplete, the snake unseen, the rooster ungrounded. Together, if they honor their differences, they can weave a path that is dynamic, balanced, and enduring, one that combines the wisdom of the snake with the brilliance of the rooster. Final conclusions. So, what's the verdict? Are Aries Snake and Libra Rooster truly compatible, or are they destined to clash until the end of time? The answer is as layered and intricate as the people themselves. This is not a pairing that slides into comfort easily, nor is it one that guarantees smooth sailing from the very beginning. Instead, it is a relationship defined by magnetic attraction, undeniable chemistry, and equally undeniable challenges. They are drawn to each other like moths to a flame, yet both must decide whether they will burn in that fire or learn to harness it to light their way forward. In love, their connection is charged with passion, allure, and intensity. The Aries Snake, with their deep, hypnotic presence, and the Libra Rooster, with their dazzling elegance, create sparks that can ignite into a firestorm. Yet passion alone does not sustain love, compromise does. For the snake, that means softening their grip, resisting the urge to dominate or control. For the rooster, it means seeing beyond admiration and appearances, learning to value the quiet depth that the snake brings. When they find this balance, their love becomes more than passion, it becomes enduring devotion. In marriage, the balance continues to be tested. The snake brings stability, long-term vision, and wisdom, while the rooster brings energy, flair, and public pride. It is a pairing that can thrive if both respect one another's needs. The snake must trust the rooster enough to let them shine without fear, while the rooster must ground themselves enough to honor the snake's desire for privacy and depth. Their marriage is not built on ease, but on the conscious choice to meet halfway. When they succeed, they embody the delicate dance between intimacy and visibility, creating a union that feels both secure and alive. In sex, they are electric. Their physical chemistry is one of the strongest aspects of their relationship, with the snake offering deliberate passion and the rooster bringing vibrant variety. But even here, power dynamics lurk. The snake leans toward control, the rooster craves admiration, and unless both are attentive, this can tip the balance toward dissatisfaction. When handled with care, though, their intimacy becomes more than physical pleasure. It becomes an arena where both surrender and celebrate one another's desires. In friendship, their bond is intriguing yet challenging. The snake seeks depth, honesty, and loyalty, while the rooster thrives on social energy, humor, and shared activity. These differences can make their friendship feel uneven at times, but when they find common ground, they inspire one another in powerful ways. The snake pushes the rooster toward introspection, while the rooster encourages the snake to embrace joy and openness. It may not always be effortless, but when nurtured, their friendship is one of balance, seriousness tempered by playfulness, solitude broken by laughter. In business, they shine as one of the most effective partnerships imaginable. The snake operates as the strategist, pulling strings behind the scenes with patience and foresight, while the rooster dazzles as the charismatic presenter, selling ideas with flair and confidence. Together, they can conquer markets, win investors, and build empires. But ego remains the greatest threat. If the snake feels overshadowed, they retreat into resentment. If the rooster feels unappreciated, they may look for validation elsewhere. Clear boundaries, mutual respect, and recognition of each other's contributions are the keys to unlocking their combined brilliance. Their dark sides, however, cannot be ignored. The snake's possessiveness, jealousy, and manipulative streak, combined with the rooster's vanity, arrogance, and obsession with appearances, create a minefield. Left unchecked, these flaws can tear the relationship apart, turning admiration into bitterness and passion into resentment. And yet, these same shadows hold the potential for transformation. By confronting their weaknesses head-on, they can grow into better versions of themselves. The snake learns trust and vulnerability. The rooster learns authenticity and humility. Their dark sides are not merely obstacles, they are invitations to evolve. When it comes to life goals, their divergence is striking yet complementary. The snake seeks legacy, wisdom, and depth, a life of meaning that extends beyond the surface. The rooster seeks recognition, success, and beauty, a life celebrated for its elegance and visibility. Alone, each might feel incomplete. Together, they have the potential to merge substance with style, creating a path that is both grounded and radiant. The snake ensures that their achievements endure. The rooster ensures that those achievements shine in the light of admiration. Their goals, when respected, are not contradictory but beautifully interwoven. So, what does all of this mean in the grand scheme? It means that compatibility between Aries Snake and Libra Rooster is not a simple yes or no. It is not about being naturally easy or naturally doomed. It is about choice, awareness, and effort. They can be one of the most magnetic and transformative pairings, but only if both partners are willing to face themselves and each other honestly. When the fire of the snake's Aries passion meets the rooster's Libra elegance, the result is never boring. It is a union of mystery and charm, strategy and beauty, passion and balance. At its worst, it can be volatile, a cycle of jealousy, vanity, and unspoken resentments. At its best, it is extraordinary, a relationship that challenges both partners to grow while offering a love and partnership that is unforgettable. Ultimately, the compatibility of Aries Snake and Libra Rooster depends on whether they fight against their differences or learn from them. If they choose defensiveness, pride, and denial, their story may end in conflict and disappointment. But if they choose respect, compromise, and growth, their story becomes one of the most fascinating and transformative relationships either will ever experience. It is not the kind of love that promises ease, but it is the kind of love that, if nurtured, promises greatness.